Thanks for taking the time to look at the CarbonWise software from Living Life Green. But before we give you a brief demo, let's share with you a little background. The CarbonWise system is designed to help your organization save up to $50 per PC per year on energy costs. It does this by monitoring the activity on your PCs and reducing the power consumption of those systems during off hours or idle time without impacting the PC user. CarbonWise can pay for itself in as little as 3 to 6 months. CarbonWise is built on a fourth-generation universal management system, so it is a mature and fully featured product. CarbonWise has three main components: a server, which is the master control for all the PCs and all the departments in your entire organization, a client that provides the administrators access to the server, and an agent that is installed on each PC and which is responsible for controlling the PC's operation and power consumption. There are many features we will not have time to demonstrate today, but let's take about 5 minutes for a quick look at the CarbonWise system. To start, we'll look at the CarbonWise Management Console. The console is responsible for talking to the server and allowing you to control and manage the PCs that are on your network. Here you see us connecting to the server. It happens to be running on the same machine, but it could be running anywhere on your network. What we'll do is we'll open this up and take a look at some of the display information. Down the left side, you can see a listing of all the PCs that are under control by this system. You can look and see whether they happen to be licensed, if they're online, if they're laptops, and specifically if CarbonWise is running and controlling those PCs' power consumptions. CarbonWise uses a profile to control these PCs. We'll talk about that in a moment. Lastly, here you can see we keep the statistics for the on time and the idle time for those machines, and that gives us the ability to understand what's happening. So let's open up the CarbonWise profiles, because this is really the heart of the system. The profiles provide the ability to simply and easily look at many factors that help you control the power consumption of PCs. You see here on the General tab, we can give our profiles a name, decide whether they're actually active or not, or enabled, include some comments, and also list out a number of and control a number of attributes for that particular profile. You can see here we can control whether a user can change their power options or not on their system. At the core of the profile is the schedule. Let's take a look at this one. It's got a number of different pieces. The first part is we're looking at what we want the system to be doing when we're on weekends. And in this case, on Sunday and Saturday, we're going to want to shut the machine down after an hour if a person is logged on or logged off. We can control that. We can choose whether we do that or not. But that's the type of setting that we've chosen for our corporate use on the weekends. We then look at when we're trying to make backups and do updates of software. And here we can wake a machine up that's been hibernated or put into suspend mode and make updates. Here we see we're actually enabling or allowing the hibernation of a system after it's been idle for 10 minutes or so. In this case, we want to be able to wake the machine up before people get to work in the morning. So at 7:30 in the morning, we're going to wake everybody's machine up on the weekdays. And then during the work week, these are the types of settings we're going to expect. So we're never going to shut down when someone is in the middle of the workday, but you could set that up after a certain amount of time. If someone was at lunch, you could change that. And then at the end of the day, we want to hibernate the system, put it into a sleep state so it consumes the least amount of power, but we can still turn it on in the morning. And then lastly, what we're looking at is on the weekends, we're going to power these systems down and save as much money as possible. In this case, we're preparing on the Friday to do that. You can notify users and allow them to be aware that you're about to power down or about to turn a monitor down, do something like that. That's all automated. You can also give them a summary of the savings that they're having by using CarbonWise at their desktop. Now let's look at one of the very powerful features of CarbonWise that helps administrators manage many PCs. What we're going to do is we're going to look at the view of computers, and we can set up specific groups. In this case, we're showing all the computers, but let's look at just the accounting department. And that becomes a logical subset of all of the computers. It could be based on geography, it could be based on function, but it makes it easy to group these computers and more than likely apply the same profile to those computers because those users are in the same department. Here we have a group that's just the executives, and in this case, you might want to leave those machines on a little longer in the day because they're going to probably work a little later. We can also show, in this case, what the high idle systems are. So systems that are sitting and not being used much. You can see we've got a number of those that remain fairly idle here. Great opportunity for savings, and this is where CarbonWise really helps pay off. Of course, one of the great values of CarbonWise is the fact that we keep all of this information, and you can run reports from this information that we provide you to see what the actual savings are that you're achieving. In fact, we offer the carbon audit as a free way for you to establish exactly how much you can save by running CarbonWise. You can see we keep track of all sorts of good information here. This is just a few of the fields. Lastly, let's take a look at the individual information we have about a PC that is under CarbonWise control. Here you can see we've clicked on Office 5. We have the ability to execute any of these commands instantaneously by clicking on them. In this case, we see this machine is managed, but it's offline, so we're going to send it a wake-up call, which allows us to bring it back to life and have it running, and then we can access it further. And these commands are all there for you to access. You have system information that gets automatically collected when this computer or any computers are brought online. That's an automated process, by the way, where we can import all the systems that you have in your network. We can look at the power status, and that's essentially whether the system is online, offline, what profiles it's using, and in fact, whether it is enabled to use CarbonWise or not. Turn it on or off, make use of it. You can also see a little bit of history down there. And in this case, we're going to change the profile for this particular system. We keep events, and you see the wake-up call that we sent a moment ago. And just prior to that, below it, you can see we had the system hibernate. Time of day, date. You can see all of the different activities that have been enacted upon that particular machine. And in this case, we've got the groups that it's part of. We talked about groups a moment ago and how powerful they are. This one is a member of 2 groups, which you can do and provide that capability to manage that system within the different groups. Well, that concludes our brief overview of the CarbonWise application. If you want to know more about CarbonWise and how it can save your company thousands and thousands of dollars of energy cost and carbon footprint, please feel free to give us a call. The number is 404-418-5541, or visit us on the web at www.carbon-wise.com. Thanks very much.